What's been going on this morning, we've brought the young people from the college to the university to have a look at some historical sexual objects and just discussing it in groups and getting their thoughts and opinions on them.
They engage with them, they let their imaginations run, and I don't think they censored themselves.
And what was nice is seeing them looking at the different language that they use to talk about sex and to talk about body parts. Because some of them come in and, they don't have that vocabulary or that language, so it's a way of getting them to talk about it, look at words, and hopefully removing some of their inhibitions.
This whole project started when Rebecca and I found ourselves in the storerooms of the Science Museum in London. And there we found this amazing collection of erotic material collected by Sir Henry Wellcome that has never been seen before and has never been on display. We were so excited by this that we started to work on it, and we found some extraordinary things.
We started using the objects to work with young people. We took them into classroom settings and used them with other charities that work with young people. And immediately we found that they were extremely useful as a way of kickstarting conversations with young people about subjects which are often very difficult to talk about in the classroom context.
One of the things we found was that embarrassment just disappeared. Young people found themselves talking about history, about places and times far away. No longer was sex education about themselves, but it was about broader cultures.
The objects that we were looking at today allowed them to talk about sex without feeling self-conscious and without thinking about themselves while they were doing it. And I think especially because they were ancient objects, it wasn't even like a modern cultural image, it was something very far removed from them, so it allowed them to talk about that and feel safe while they were doing it.
It made me wonder how really liberal we are in our society today. We think we're very understanding and liberal, but maybe we're not quite as much as we thought we were.
What I found interesting was learning about how open they used to be, rather than now it's all concealed and stuff.
It's been quite fascinating to see how other cultures have attitudes towards sexuality that we perhaps might see as progressive, but are in actuality very, very old attitudes.
Well, today's session I found interesting the things that I hadn't necessarily thought about before, the way that our culture in the West, the things about body image. In different cultures, it's different the way women are presented and portrayed and stuff.
Finding out about distant times and places through these objects is a real eye-opener for young people. It demonstrates for them the diversity of sexual practices and attitudes that there have been over time. And this diversity offers young people a new perspective on their own culture, a vantage point from which to think critically about contemporary society.
Teachers tell us that this makes sex education much easier. Conversations take off and the class has a life of its own.
So we decided to work with teachers and with sex education professionals to design a resource that teachers could use in schools. We worked with the Relationships and Sex Education Hub in Bristol to produce a sex education resource.
In making this resource, we're giving teachers around the country the opportunity to make use of our innovative approach.
The challenges only arise when they don't have anything to say and when they don't have any ideas, so it's nice that they have that stimulus to get them engaged and to give them ideas, and the more talking they do, the more ideas come out, the easier it is.
It's informative on both the sort of historical level, and it's raises some quite interesting thoughts with regards to sex and sexuality and their place in history and the human experience.
I don't know, it's not something that's really on the curriculum that necessarily we learn about in school, and it was just really different experience.